What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Labology, brought to you by Bets TV. As you can see, once again, it's empty. He's sick again. No, he's not sick again. he's not sick. He had a prior engagement. So I'm here solo again with Quan. We got a bunch of shit to go over, some new stuff for the site. We're going to review Hermansen versus Strickland, give a little brief touch on 271. Obviously, me and Quan are going to go back and forth on some other stuff, like it's
Super Bowl week.
There you go. He just took the words right out of my mouth. So we do have a lot of shit to cover. Yo, dude, how about that? I keep thinking about that guy in the hallway. There was this guy in the hallway, right? So I'm getting coffee. Quan's getting some snacks and coffee, and he's on the phone. And he's talking to somebody, and he's like, I didn't know whether or not you'd be in the jacuzzi this morning. Did you hear him say, did you take the Lamborghini or the Ferrari?
He's talking to his girls.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, who are you trying to impress, pal?
He got hoes in different area codes.
Holy shit, dude. Meanwhile, the guy was dressed like a fucking cafon.
Well, I'm not too up on my lingo. What is that?
Like
negative.
A gavon. He was like a slob.
Okay.
You know? So anyway, we had a really good night last week. UFC Fight Night Hermansson versus Strickland. Bet did very, very well. Overall picks did very, very well. If you look, we hit straight bets on row. Strickland and Hermansen over 4.5. That hit. Davis by decision -125. Parlay Davis and Arosa hit. And obviously, Soriano and Bonder did not hit. The Bonder one was kind of interesting. Did you see the fight, Quan?
No.
So, you know, he was getting beat a little bit. I mean, I would say that he was losing for the amount of time that they fought. It was still in the first round. But, bro, his whole elbow capsule exploded. He went to post out, and you just saw his whole elbow just blow out.
Yeah.
So they stopped the fight. You know, so that was considered an L.
What's
an L?
That's a gross. I might have to Google that and see what it looked like.
Yeah, it was pretty gross, dude. Everyone's like, he broke his arm. No, but his elbow capsule blew out. It's very, very painful. The ligaments just expand, stretch, and snap, or your bone kind of snaps out of place. There's a lot of different things it could have been, but to me, it definitely looked like an elbow capsule explosion. Didn't look like a break because it didn't look like it was near the forearm or over here. So that's what it looked like to me. I didn't really do that much research afterwards to find out exactly what it was, but if I had to put my money on it, I'd say his elbow capsule exploded. Everything else went, obviously Soriano, we lost that fight. Not high on this kid Maximov. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I respect him, but I don't think he longs for a really, really good career. A lot of people are high on him. I get it. He comes from the Nick Diaz army. I don't like his personality for the mere fact that don't tell me because he's from their area code, that's why he talks like that and acts like that. He does that because he hangs out with them. So he picked up their lingo. We picked up their way, and it's fine. I mean, it doesn't make him a bad kid. I think he's a good kid. He's now 8-0. But if you watch the fight, he did what he did what he needed to do to win the fight. You got to give him credit for that. But he's not an exciting fighter. You could see he's kind of a one-trick pony. The guy just lives and dies with his grappling and wrestling. And Soriano, I like the kid. I think he hits hard. I think he's got very underrated wrestling. He did some things in that fight that showed you his wrestling. Some of his switches and reverses were nice. But he couldn't get Maximov off him. Maximov just had too much pressure, even though he wasn't really doing much with it. Did have a couple submission attempts. So, like I said, he did what he needed to do to win the fight. All respect there. Soriano's a tough kid, and he did legitimately win the fight. It's not like that anyone got it wrong. I'm just not high on him after that performance. I really wasn't impressed with the performance. I'd like to see a little bit more well-rounded ability and not use one skill set as your complete security blanket. I get it. Maybe it's because he fought Soriano and he knows he's got a lot of power. That was his game plan. Understandable. But I can't really gauge him until I see him fight somebody where I'm seeing an entire encompassment on his skill set. Other than that, what else? Was there anything glaring on this card that I could bring up? No, that's pretty much it. I mean, we went, I believe, 9-4 on the night. Strickland could have did more. I got to be honest with you. Like, for a guy, I agree with some of the people that are saying this. For the guy that's like talking about murdering people with his bare hands, and he loves violence and stuff like that. Like, he really did live and die behind that jab, and that's good. Don't get me wrong. I'm like I said. The name of the game is winning. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you win. You win. A lot of people, shit on fighters and say he's a boring fighter. They back in the day when Woodley was on that tear, he's boring. But the fact of the matter is he's winning. Kamaru Usman, the same thing. Before he started finishing people, everyone said he was fucking boring. But the fact of the matter is he's winning. He's doing enough to win. That's the name of the game at the end of the day. Is it going to pay your bills and give you these big monster paydays? No, but if you keep winning, they can't deny you. That's all there is to it. And he's continuously winning. But I'd like to see him put his foot on the gas a little bit, and throw a little bit more caution to the wind, like he does with his mouth. But Sean, like, I didn't see an area where Hermansen was going to win this fight. So it's a good card, though. We have a great card coming up. UFC 271, obviously, Adesanya Whitaker, Derek Lewis, Tiavasa, Cannoneer, Brunson, Kyler Phillips, Rojo, Bobby Green, Hapgrass. We'll cover that a little bit. A couple announcements about the site. First of all, we got some new swag up. So if you go to the madlabmma.com, check it out. We have some female stuff up. We have some male, some unisex. Use promo code BETSTV. Also, big announcement, which I'm super psyched about, is we are launching, not this week, we're launching for the Daytona 500. We are going to start doing NASCAR DFS. I will give you guys a brief breakdown on why I'm doing it. This will be free for all subscribers. So if you are a subscriber to the Mad Lab MMA, you will get NASCAR for the entire season free. A little bit about my history with NASCAR. Before all this, I was obviously a designer. All my stuff on the site, clothes, everything is all designed by me. Previous companies that I did work for, all the design work was from me as well. That is where my background is, that, and obviously, exercise science and kinesiology and stuff like that. But I decided a career path in design. My father was a printer. There was really no money in training. So I took my other passion, I took my other knowledge and skill set, went back to school, and went for that. So I worked for a lot of big companies. I also worked for, and this is what ties in together, I worked for NHRA, and I worked in the NASCAR field. I would design the race cars, the shells of the race cars. It was one of the coolest jobs I ever had. I worked for Castrol. I was the only designer in North America. I designed the GTX bottles, the Syntec bottles. I was on the John Force racing team, the Tony Pedregon racing team. Also, they flew me to all the NASCAR races outside of the NHRA, so I was able to see all the tracks. And in that time that I spent with the company, I really got involved in NASCAR. It was a part of my job. Every weekend they were flying me to different tracks and Daytona and this and that. So I got like really involved in it, and I really started growing a passion for it. And that's where it grew from there. And I got to really learn the sport, understand the sport, see the back end of it, sitting in the pits. I was, able to sit in the trailers when they were getting ready and eating lunch and getting ready for the race. From the time they started the cars up, dragged them to the track, I was in the pits. So, like, I really got a good vibe from the back end, seeing how everything works, and I grew a passion for it. And it was never, after that, it was never just cars going around the track. Like, I literally loved the whole thing. Like, the fucking, it's amazing, bro. I don't know if you ever watched NASCAR.
When I was a youngin' on Saturdays, and there was absolutely nothing on.
But
yeah,
here's the thing, dude. Before I started working, and I was younger when I was working for them. Is I literally looked at it like, how do people go to a race and watch just cars go like this? Bro, it ain't that, dude. There is such a fucking, everything is about timing and the pit crew and how fast they get out, how fast you get out. The strategic, the strategy involved with, fueling up and changing tires and, fast tracks. And like, it's incredible, dude. It's fucking incredible. So I got a big passion for NASCAR. Those of you that know me too know that I love watching NASCAR. I don't miss many races. So lo and behold, long story short, I will be producing NASCAR content, and that will be absolutely free for you guys. I'm not charging anything. I'm not making an extra dime. from it. I am just going to be throwing it in as a bonus. So if you join the MadLabMMA.com, you get all our fight stuff. You're going to get NASCAR for free. We also got another announcement but we're going to wait for that. We haven't ironed out the kinks for that yet. So another big announcement, but that's where we're going with that. So definitely come check us out. Like I said, you're getting great MMA content every week. And then on the back end, you'll be getting all NASCAR DFS for free. So
you've done everything, man. I was perusing through Instagram and I saw you getting hitting the guitar this week.
That was my first passion, dude. I wanted to be. There was a couple things I wanted. First thing I wanted to be is I wanted to be a ninja. Yeah, I swear to God, bro. So listen, I was so into that the whole business set at such an early age. My father was a printer. And he still has my very first business card, bro. I took my first karate class I ever took, dude. I was like fucking 7 years old, right? And after that one class, I thought I was like a ninja. And I had this, I don't know, I had this like thing in my mind. I don't know if I read it somewhere that there was only like 8 ninjas in the world. And right? So I called myself the 9th ninja.
I like that.
Yeah, dude. So my father made me business cards. He still has them. If I'm going to tell him to send me a screenshot of it, and I'll post it on my Twitter. It says the 9th ninja. We do things ninja style.
I love it.
Parties, games. So I was teaching kids on my lawn for 10 cents. The kids on the block. I'd come out in my gi. One class. I was like 6 years old, dude. But yeah, man. So I don't even know where we're getting. Yes, dude. I wanted to be fucking a fighter. I wanted to be a guitar player. I was dabbled in music for a long time. Bush will tell you, for as long as he's known me, like I love music, bro. Love music. So I played guitar for a long time. I obviously went to school for exercise, and there's just no money in it, bro.
Yeah.
They're broke. These people are broke. See, what people don't understand is like, and this is another thing that kind of aggravates me a little bit, and I want to talk to you about it. Let's go into it right now, actually. What are your thoughts on this whole Joe Rogan thing? Honestly. No judgment. Your honest opinion on it.
I don't know what to say because it's probably, there's nothing that you can say that hasn't been said already. Like, I don't understand why not. Like, I get that it was a hit job of him being called out by people looking to get him out of, because of probably the ivermectin stuff and him being right about.
But no, that's not what that's not what.
But that's why they went searching.
Right.
Trouble,
yeah.
Or he's like, they're proving that ivermectin works, and so they're just looking for something. But man, erasing 110 episodes of him using derogatory terms, that's intentionally being obtuse. And I think everybody coming to his rescue about it, it's just perpetuating the notion that you can be racist and get away with it as long as you apologize for it. Like, I'm not going to go out and say that I haven't said some inflammatory, derogatory things in my life, but
I like where you're going with this.
You have to take accountability for it. And his apology is, I think, bullshit, because he's only apologizing because it's coming to the light now. But his rhetoric is dangerous because people are going to think, oh, it's just the N-word. Well, it's not just the N-word. It's what he's calling black people apes, and we get, as a black man, we get these stereotypes, and we get everybody. Like, I saw one of the videos, a guy talking like some phrenology stuff, but black people are predisposed to being violent because they're black, which is 1,000% wrong. And he's a known conservative, right-wing extremist. So that perspective is dangerous because it just perpetuates this stereotype that black people are violent and prone to violence just because we're black, not involving all the other factors of poverty and, being put into this box where, violence is the only answer. It's not. It's just a product of your environment. Like, I grew up in a violent area, and I'm probably the furthest thing from violent. It's talking about it is a moot point now because we've already seen that nobody gives a shit. And nobody's going to give a shit because it's not even the both sides thing. It's people think it's okay, and it's past the point where it really matters because all you got to do is apologize, and then a comedian's gonna say, "Oh, it's just comedy," or a white man's gonna say, "Oh, well, he's sorry. You shouldn't be." I saw some guy talking, Jews are one of the most persecuted people of all time. You shouldn't be offended by a racial slur. It's like you can't tell me how to feel about something negative. So I'm over it. Like, I think I'm so desensitized to racism and all that like I just don't have any opinion on it because it's not on me to change somebody's opinion on if I'm a human or I have any humanity. So I can't do anything about it at this point, and I'm tired of having the conversation just because I
didn't mean to bring it up.
No.
We didn't talk about this. We didn't talk about this offline at all.
No, I'm saying that to you. I'm just saying, like, every time it's gonna come up again because you can't not be racist in 3 days.
Well, can I give you my honest opinion on it? Yeah. I got two sides to it, and I'm going to be totally transparent on my two sides. One side is when you're in the spotlight with him, you need to know there's certain things that you could say and you can't say.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a word. I agree. That's a word I can't say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got white guys who grow up in predominantly black neighborhoods who have that persona. They try to act that way. What do they call them? Wiggers?
Yeah.
Right? They try to act that way, and they say with the A on it as a term of endearment. I still don't. It's not. You can't.
Yeah.
Certain things you can't say. You know what I mean? So I get it from that point. And if it was a one-off, I get it. The whole thing with the Planet of the Apes thing, it's hard to read the context of that. So I understand, like, that's bad, dude. But there's also a part of me that thinks that, not that I know him personally, because I don't, he's not a racist.
It's not even the point of him not being a racist. It's perpetuating racism. Because there's going to be people out there.
That's because he says it's okay to say it.
Yeah, because he's saying
got it.
Yeah.
From that perspective, I do. But for people that say he's a racist and stuff like that, I don't know if I buy into that. I don't know if I have to subscribe to that. I don't agree with like, I heard they did a whole collage of all the times he said it, and I was like, holy shit, like, all right, enough. But I don't think he's a racist. Like, I borderline know, like, factual. I don't even know him personally that he's not. But the thing that kind of pushes my buttons about this whole thing a little bit, and it's not really in so much favor of him, it's how fucked up society is. How can you go on YouTube and you could watch these videos of, people going into the fucking woods, finding dead bodies, people fucking talking shit about teaching kids how to do fucking steroids, how to take your drugs. These are the drugs that I'm on. This is the drugs that I'm taking. These are the drugs that you should do. And none of these people are getting fucking canceled. Like, none of these people are getting canceled. None of these people are getting canceled. Like, you could go on YouTube and you could see some fucking vile videos of, like, the KKK and, like, vile fucking shit, dude. You know what I mean? And none of that's getting canceled. So my whole thing is, if I was him, I think it was $100 million I offered him.
Mm-hmm.
I would take it.
You talking about the other?
Spotify, I think, offered him $100 million.
Spotify said they're giving $100 million to different cultural groups.
All right. I was like, why is he taking it?
Yeah, he already has this $100 million.
Oh, all right.
There's another group.
But why isn't he? See, my whole thing is, like, if I were him, like, I'd get to the point where I'd say, listen, like, if me and you work together, me and you own a company together, and I'm not racist, and something slipped out of my mouth, and you didn't defend me, You didn't come out publicly and be like, look, guys, I know how it sounds, but this fucking dude is not a racist. I work with him. I own a company with him. He's not a racist. You know, what he said he apologized publicly. He's going to, you know, it is what it is. I understand how you guys, but he's not, they're not backing him at all, dude. So this is a guy who's got the #1 podcast in the world. Why doesn't he just leave and start his own production? And say, fuck you, dude. Like, I'll start my own production.
And that's kind of like the issue.
He's going to have the followers.
Yeah,
nobody's going to stop listening to him.
And that's kind of the issue. Is like, you can't stop it now. Like,
but they said the whole thing with Jordan Peterson. Not that he was a racist, but women were complaining that Jordan Peterson had 80% male followers than female followers. And he's like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do? He's like, what do you want me to do about that? Like, okay, 80% of the males that follow me because you 20% of women don't follow me. That's not my fault, like that you don't follow me. So it's like I feel like in this space you can't win. You can't win and you can't lose.
You can win.
No, you can lose. You can lose more than you can win.
You can win. I think accountability.
Accountability is everything.
There's no such thing as cancel culture, man.
There is, bro. Come on, dude.
All it does is just it opens you up. It gives you more exposure. Like, name me one person that's actually been canceled.
It's not. Yeah, but I'm not saying being canceled for the I can name a couple people that I'm not going to name on here, but you know, they literally were their fucking social medias and everything were fucking zapped to the floor after having 100, 200,000 followers. And they're banned. They're not even allowed back on. So I can name people.
Have they lost revenue or they?
Of course.
But
social media is a huge revenue source.
But they're not making what they were. But
not even close.
There's only two ways that can go. You get more popular or you lose a little bit of popularity.
No, because if they don't let you back on the platform,
you just find somewhere else to go.
But then they got to find you. Then you got to start that whole regeneration over again.
That's why there's no such thing as cancel culture, because just because you lose one platform doesn't mean that you lose your followers.
But you got to remember, we're living in a time now where, you know, we are so separated. We're so separated that one side is going to side with one side, even if they don't know the whole fucking story. You know, they're going to side with one side. So if this guy says something shitty and he's a Republican and the Democrats tell you not to follow it, they're not going to cancel him, but you're going to cancel him. If the Democrats say something stupid and the Republicans don't like it and they say don't listen to him, they're not going to cancel him, but you're going to cancel him. So we're involved every day in some sort of cancel culture. We are.
You don't have to participate.
You don't have to, but subconsciously you do.
I know that every message isn't for me. I know that the last time I actively followed Joe Rogan was when he was on news radio.
Right. All right.
I was like 12 years old. It came on at like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to him on I never watched Fear Factor. I listened to him on the MMA when he does that commentary, but Joe Rogan isn't giving me messages that helps my daily life. So I know that everything isn't for me. Participating in this society, you don't have to do it. You just choose to do it. Like, when I wake up, I log on to Twitter because I know it's entertaining and about 99.9% of it is bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit. And saying that I want to see, I don't give a shit about Joe Rogan. I actively try to avoid that conversation now just because.
I didn't mean to bring it up.
No, it's not. I'm throwing it out there for the just sake of like where I am. Like, when people, if it's not going to be Joe Rogan, it's going to be the next Joe Rogan. And then when he gets removed from his following and his platform, it's going to be the next Joe Rogan. It's next man up always. So it's to me, it's filtering the messages that I like to filter because I'll just try to be a better person each day.
So let me ask you a question. If Joe Rogan, did you watch Elon Musk and Joe Rogan's interview?
I saw him like very, very briefly. Like when he was smoking the weed, that was it.
But I'm saying you wouldn't feel like those 2 hours you wouldn't be able to extract something from that?
There's nothing that Elon Musk does or Joe Rogan.
So you don't like Elon Musk?
I'm not saying I don't like him. I just don't have an opinion on him.
What about Jordan Peterson?
I have no idea who Jordan Peterson is.
Oh, you actually would like him if you're the type of person that like that.
But
like,
that's the thing. Like, my life is centered around football, movies, and trying to stabilize, like getting a better position to
Jordan Peterson.
to do my content. But I don't think Jordan Peterson and myself have anything in common because
it's not. He's not. He's not. That's not what he does. He doesn't sit there and go wake up at 5 a.m. and do this. He's a clinical psychologist, bro. That just he understands how to tap into society. The guy's fucking brilliant, dude. I listen to him. I swear to God, my ex-girlfriend, bro, she used to fucking, when I used to get stressed out, she used to literally say that to me. What are you doing? I'm going home, this, that, blah, blah. She's like, go relax, cook a little something, put on some Jordan Peterson. Because I would listen to him like every day, dude. Every day I would find a different message from him. Some of his shit's a little out there, but he really, bro, the guy doesn't like, he's not the type of guy to tell you, get the fuck up, grind. That's not him, dude.
yeah.
He's a legit clinical psychologist, bro, with facts behind them, stats behind them, clinical studies behind them. Like, brilliant. The guy's fucking brilliant. So something like that, I feel like some people might bite their nose off to spite their face when they could learn something from that, but they won't because of him, the other guy on the side of the table, when you should be listening to him. That's why he's on the show.
The message is always going to be out there. And sometimes it does depend on the messenger. Like, I can't follow somebody like I said, I don't know who Jordan Peterson is. Elon Musk, I want to buy a Tesla. That's the only thing I know about Elon Musk. And Joe Rogan, his content doesn't speak to me because my path isn't the same as Joe Rogan's or anybody who listens to Joe Rogan. My path is going to be somebody who came from Pontiac, Michigan.
Yeah, but see, that's pigeonhole, dude. I got to be honest with you, that's pigeonhole.
It's not because
yeah, it is, bro.
Me and him aren't. We haven't had the same opportunities. We're not going to have the same opportunities.
But you create your own opportunities, dude. Like look. I'm sitting here in Orange County, California, dude. Every one of my friends of 30 years are still back in Jersey. They're still living in the same areas and stuff like that. Like if I had that mindset, I'd be like, all right, you know what, like I'm supposed to be here and I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do that. You kind of create your own reality at that point. But if you can extract good things, like I was just messaging my friend Tony on the way here from home. I cut a lot of my friends out, from back home, a lot of them, and I still have my small group of friends, like Tony and the guys from, we call it the Strewn Squad, like Sam Martin and Iaquez and Patain and these guys, Fernelius and Will. And these are guys from grammar school that I've refused to cut out of my life. Like, they were a big, intricate part of who I am today. Obviously, I know Bush for 20 years, but you create your own reality, bro. Just because these guys and these girls are your friends, or you had the same kind of upbringing from the same areas, you ate the same food, the same restaurants, doesn't mean you can't relate to somebody else, dude.
No.
You don't know where Joe Rogan's come from.
I do. I do agree with that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, just because you're from Pontiac, Michigan, doesn't mean that, you have to be like everyone from Pontiac, Michigan, or you have to follow that blueprint. Like, you create your own reality. And I'm a firm believer that you are who you hang out with, bro. Like, hanging out with guys like Tony and Anthony and these guys, like, they all brought a different dynamic to my life. Every one of them shaped me who I am. I got friends of mine who were seriously depressed and seriously on drugs, bro, that they shaped me in a way because I was like, dude, I don't want to end up like that.
Don't want to be like that, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I got friends of mine that were doing super, super well. And I was like, this is the way it is. He's got the family, he's got the kids, blah, blah, blah. And I hope, like, I was like that for some of my friends. When my friends were, still, doing whatever, and I was working for Castro and doing this, I hope they looked at me in a way and be like, bro, he's got it. He's, he gets it. So I don't know if I buy into that, dude. I think you create your own reality, you create your own path, and it doesn't matter where you came from, who the fuck you are, where you've been. If you want it, you could go out and get it, dude.
Yeah, but I think that's more of an internal factor more than an external factor, because I tend to follow people that set good examples, but most of I don't really have that type of friendship with people because I can say this. I'm naive enough to get manipulated into doing things, and that's because I've never been stable. I haven't had the opportunity to plant my feet in the ground. So sometimes I have to go with somebody who isn't doing the right thing. And once I recognize that it's not something positive that I could do, then I have to move on. Like, I think I've outgrown a lot of people in my life because I recognize that it's not the right thing to do. And the message, like I said, the message is going to be there. Sometimes it does depend on the messenger.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so
look at us talking about life. Look,
We should put sad music in the background while we're doing it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, like that was. I was actually curious on your take with that. But I should have brought it up to you first.
At this point, man, no, it's fine. At this point, like, I think they accomplished their goal, but it's still nothing. Nothing's gonna happen.
No, that's what I mean. Nothing's gonna happen. Either way, if they get rid of him or not, he's gonna
go find somewhere else to land.
Who's not gonna take him on?
Yeah, I mean, and we're talking about this, and Howard Stern's another example. Like, I saw.
Well, hold on, that's another thing. Like, think about how society's changed.
Yeah.
Did you listen? See, I'm from New York, dude. So when Howard Stern was on 92.3 FM radio, that's when he was at his fucking. That's when he was vile as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, and I listened to him every fucking morning, dude. I even remember going into work during 9/11. When I was driving into work at 9/11, I worked in the city, and there was just a ton of traffic, bro. And I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" My phone was blowing up. He comes on the radio, and I remember the first words out of his mouth is he said that something hit the Empire State Building. He said, so I'm like looking, I'm like, I don't see nothing. I'm not laughing, but
Yeah.
But I'm like, what the fuck? And then I get a phone call from my mother. Where are you? And I was just getting ready to go into the Lincoln Tunnel, bro. Getting ready. I would have been trapped there. God knows how long I would have been trapped there. And I see people fucking making U-turns, going the wrong way on Route 3. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, like, but I had him on. Like, I listened to him every fucking day, dude, Howard Stern. Every day. The Whack Pack, Beetlejuice, Gary the Retard, High Pitch Eric. He was literally making fun of handicapped people, bro.
Yeah. That's like, not funny.
It's not funny, but I'm saying, but look how society has fucking changed. If you ever came out today and took somebody with Down syndrome and called him Gary the Retard and had him on your show, you would be fucking cut like this. Dude, he had this guy on nonstop. Made fun of him, put him on these crazy game shows. Beetlejuice, another guy, the guy with the little head.
I know Beetlejuice, yeah.
He had clear issue. I love Beetlejuice.
I love Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is hilarious.
Dude, another guy they had on. He used to come to my restaurant all the time. Angry Black. Remember Angry Black?
No.
So Angry Black was a black guy who worked for Verizon. He worked for Verizon, and he used to call up to Howard Stern. He was always in a fucking bad mood. So Howard Stern let him come up one day. And he became a part of the show. His name was Angry Black. He used to come to my restaurant all the time, dude. All the time. And it was like, dude, he used to make fun of these people.
Yeah.
Literally on air, make fun of him. Make fun of them. Make them have sex with fucking girls, using girls as objects. This, that. He's never, the FDA would get involved because of his cursing and stuff like that. But society accepted him and obviously loved him because the guy was so uber successful. Now he turned into this fucking shell of himself, maybe because he's older or whatever, but you can never, ever do what Howard Stern did on 92.3 K-Rock. They would fucking put you in prison or you would have an assassination attempt on you.
I think that's a good thing, man. Like,
no, I don't.
It's
then what the fuck is free? What where does you know the light part of life come in when that terminology comes in? Like, it's not that serious, bro. It's not that bad. Like, you know, we all understand. We're all empathetic. We all understand, like, there's certain things, but not that I'm agreeing what he did, but everybody's got to be a little bit fucking lighter when it comes to, like, you always got to be careful what you say, and you always got to be careful what you do, and you know, you got to watch your tweets from fucking 30 years ago, and you got to watch this. It's like, come on, bro. Like, if it's almost like a girlfriend, right? And a boyfriend. If you really dig, you're gonna find.
Yeah.
You're gonna find. If you really, really dig, you're gonna fucking find. Like, everybody's so into this whole thing with, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like everybody today is very uptight, and I think everybody needs to unloosen the belt buckle a little bit relax, not take things so fucking seriously, get back to laughing again, get back to enjoying your life again, not taking things so literal. Like if I was a stand-up comic, I'd be fucking miserable. I'd be like, dude, I can't go on stage and talk about lesbians. I can't go on stage and talk about like really, like you don't know what you could talk about anymore, bro.
You have, and I think that's the best.
Like think about being a comedian.
But at that point, I saw this George Carlin interview, and
imagine Richard Pryor right now, or imagine Andrew Dice Clay right now. He'd be done.
This is what I'm getting to. George Carlin was talking. He was on Larry King, and he was talking about. Larry King asked him about Andrew Dice Clay, and he said he was really disappointed that he would punch down.
What do you mean punch down?
Like he would talk about people beneath him, and he said, as a comedian, we were taught, or more so, comedy was about punching up on rich people, successful people, and he was kind of disappointed that Clay would punch down on like disenfranchised people, lesbians, minorities, or I'm sorry, LGBTQ. Like there are ways to do it.
Okay, but why is it okay? Why is it okay for Richard Pryor to go on stage and for half of his set make fun of white people? And nobody says anything.
Because you haven't been.
He imitates the voices. But we laugh about it. Like, dude, I think Richard Pryor is one of the funniest motherfuckers of all time. I take it light when he's like, then you got the white people coming up going, how you doing, sir? Like, I piss my pants.
That's not negative.
Like, I piss my pants when he talks about dick sizes and stuff like that. I laugh.
That's not negative, though.
You know, but if Dice goes on stage and says, like, you know, something about his dick or whatever, it's like, oh my God, all the women come out and they're like, you know, this is terrible. And I'm like, oh, bro, it's a joke.
So think of it from a woman's perspective. If you have somebody being an aggressor, you get assaulted, you have some type of trauma, it's not a good thing, man. Like women don't have, this is a white man's world. No matter how you spin it. This world, America, this society was built for white men to be on top. So as myself being a disenfranchised black man, it's hard for me to accept a joke about being an ape because that's something that stems from slavery. It stems from segregation. It stems from Jim Crow. It stems from all of that. So accepting that means I'm being dehumanized. So like that's
thing, different though.
It's not.
That's different. It's not. I'm talking about like I'm talking about like I'm not talking about comparing that deep. That's a little harsh, like jokes like that. But what I'm saying is like any time you turn on the TV, don't say that there's not guys like Jamie Foxx that aren't racist. They're very racist. And they make it publicly known that they don't like they go on stage and they literally lambaste white people, and I laugh.
But what's the negative though? It's
the negative of it is that, you know, not that it's a. I'm not comparing. It's not a one. It's not like, all right, well, you could do it and I can do it. I don't play that game, and I understand there's a much deeper fucking history. But the fact of the matter is like, at the end of the day. Is he racist or isn't he? I don't know. But some of the shit he says is fucking funny, dude. And some of the shit, like when he talks about how white, like people, they talk about how white people walk sometimes. Not that I walk like that, but I could see situations where like that guy we saw in the hallway, I could see Jamie Foxx doing a skit on that fucking guy. Like, hey, you know, did you go on the hot tub tonight? Like, I totally see that. And I would laugh at it. I would totally laugh at it. But if God forbid, like Andrew Dice Clay or someone went on stage and started, you know, acting like LeBron James or something, dude, all hell would break loose. Just because he acted like, if somebody came out and did a whole skit on Richard Pryor outside of Eddie Murphy, forget about it, bro. Or did that skit on James Brown, hot tub gonna make you hot? Forget about it, bro. It would go off the rails. And I don't think that I don't understand why. That's why it's called comedy. Like that hour and a half that you're
that under the guise of comedy, because I think this is the point. As a society, we learn about people through media. I think they're like I went to college in Indiana. 30 miles from Gary. They'd never been around black people. I've been around white people in high school and in my city and everything. One summer I'm walking down the street. Hey, Gary is 30 miles that way. And they only understand black people through what they hear about on the news, on TV, in books. Anywhere but actually face to face with somebody that's different than them.
Yeah.
If you're not exposed to that, you're going to be ignorant about it.
Yeah, I get it.
I think 100% of it is ignorance. That's why, like, if I'm lambasted with something that's completely ignorant, I have to look at the person and say, well, they haven't been around a minority, so they're probably dumb, or they don't know how to act, and this is their, like, I've seen so many white people just walk up to me like and start shucking and jiving. It's like, come on, man, I don't do that.
Okay, so let me ask you one last question about this too, because then like I said, we'll get into something else. But you saw what Whoopi Goldberg did.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Do you know she only got a week suspension for that?
Yeah, I thought.
I mean,
yeah, but
I'm not comparing racism to the Holocaust, but the Holocaust was fucked up, dude.
Yeah, I think.
She only got a week suspension for that.
I think her point that she made was, I forgot what it was about, but
it was terrible
because being Jewish isn't a race or something.
Yeah, of course it. No, she said that the Holocaust was not a racial thing. 1,000% was. 1,000% was.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. I think
he had a chart.
Yeah.
Did you know the chart? The eye chart he had?
No.
He had a fucking eye chart, dude. Yeah. And I'm well read, dude. Like, I love reading about history and stuff like that. He had an eye chart where he would take the chart and he would put it to your eyes. And if your eyes colors didn't match this certain bracket that was approved, that was it, dude. And that was it.
And that's the thing. It's like
what do you mean it's not? Of course it's race.
Because everything's been so taboo up until this point.
Right.
That we operate under what we learn in media.
Yeah.
And what we learn in books and everything. So we don't really know what we don't know. And a lot, like I said, a lot of it is ignorance.
I'm hoping for a day.
There won't be.
There won't be?
There won't be. We're just, it's.
Well, here's the thing, though. There can be if people stop listening to mainstream media and they stop listening to the fucking government so much. I didn't say there will be. I said there can be. Yes, there can be. Listen, impossible is nothing. I don't care what anyone says.
The issue is financial.
What do you mean financial? What does that have to do with race?
Because that's what disenfranchised has to do with. I don't think this would. So we talk about how one thing that separates basically everybody from this feeling is the fact that we haven't been given what's owed to us.
Yeah,
and we're the only community that hasn't received even an apology for slavery.
Yeah, but here's the mindset of some people on that, and I'm not saying that it's right or it's wrong, but let's just say that was a thing. So if I came up to you and I said to you, "I am so sorry for what my ancestors did," I don't want. Like, it doesn't even sound right.
I want money. I want an opportunity. I want a level playing field. The reason that I'm here is because I had to scratch and claw and fight and do whatever it took to get in this seat. And listen, man, I live rough. I've lived rough. If I had the same, I'm better than. So
you're saying you want the government to pretty much say, "Oh, here's for your time."
Yes.
Not your time. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, absolutely. I wouldn't give.
And then you're saying
I wouldn't give a shit.
It would all be over.
You could say, huh?
Then it would all be over.
I wouldn't give a shit.
That means you can be bought and sold, dude.
Huh?
That means you can be bought.
Hell yeah, I could be bought.
What's that movie? I could be bought.
I could be bought like shit. Listen, man, I wouldn't give a shit if they said whatever.
Yeah, what number? What number are you looking at?
I don't have a number. I know because I know it's not going to happen. But
no, that's not going to happen.
The financial instability that I faced my entire life, if I had the same opportunities as somebody that I look at as an equal, I would be night and day past where I would like. When I was playing arena football, I had this training. I caught 16 interceptions that same season. No kids in my area had that type of training and the access that I had to. When I had to barter, I had to know somebody. I had to know somebody who knew somebody. I had to do all these things to get to this next level. And it's basically because of how I grew up. And I didn't have, like, I didn't know how to get to college. The only reason I got to college is because I played sports.
All right, so here's the thing though, and I'm sure you can relate to this, but this is something that happened to me that honestly I didn't think was fair. I was, just getting out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. My family was always into the civil service, like always take your civil service test. Always take your civil service test. Always. So at the time, I was like, you know what? Like, I'll take my civil service test, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I was working as a civilian inside the sheriff's department in Bergen. And, I was doing, you were the cop, you're out, you pull somebody over, you dispatch into me, I run their license plate, I do the whole Mars computer, all that bullshit. And I was there for, a year. I was doing that. I was getting my personal training, career off the ground. So I was working, 2 jobs. And all of a sudden it was time now for them to hire a class. And I was told I was going to be hired. So I was like, wow, like I got to make a decision now. Like, is this the career path I want? I'm glad I didn't. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, is this the career path I want to take? Or do I want to, go into more into the fitness end of things? And like I had a decision to make. So like I was really up in the air anyway. And I'm glad, like I said, that didn't happen. But they came to me and they told me later on that like, and I was one of the top guys, and I scored the best out of all the civilians. It was like me and one other guy were the top guys. So when it came out and they hired people, they told me that I wasn't getting hired. I wasn't going to be invited to the academy. And I was like, well, why not? And they were like, we're doing an all Spanish class. I'm like, you're doing an all Spanish class? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay. And they did
ruin your life?
No, but it's still it could. Okay, what if my dream was to become a cop? What if that was
another opportunity?
You think it's that easy? It's not that easy. It's not that easy. If you think it's that easy, it's not that easy. Because let me tell you something. I know a lot of my friends that have tried to become cops. They never became a cop, and that's all they wanted to do. Because there's certain towns in New Jersey that are chief's tests that the chief picks who they want, and then there's civil service tests where you're going against thousands and thousands. Maybe now it's easier because not a lot of people want to be cops. Okay. But back in the day, it wasn't as easy as you think. You didn't just take a test. They used to, what you used to do? You used to get a mail in the mail and say, we're going to take you to Camden County Corrections. We're going to make you a corrections officer first. Then you have to decide, do I want to work in a fucking jail or do I want to be a cop? A lot of municipalities, they didn't do it that way. You would have to go through like the state corrections. Do you want to do that? Like sit in a jail all day long? Like some people do. I personally wouldn't do it. I got accepted to Camden County Sheriff's, Camden County Corrections. I refused to tell. I was like, I'm not fucking going to Camden County for $21,000 a year. Like that's what they were starting kids at,
okay, think about this.
But it doesn't matter if it would ruin my life or not. The fact of the matter is no, hold on. The fact of the matter is I worked my ass off. I studied for the test. I took the test. I deserved to go to the academy, and they told me no because I wasn't Spanish.
And do you think that's because you weren't capable, or because they probably didn't hire a Spanish guy for maybe 4 or 5 rotations?
No, I knew everybody in there. I knew the majority of them. They love bilingual people.
Why did they go with an all Spanish class?
It was the sheriff's choice.
Probably because they missed the quota, and
he was fired the next year.
So
no. There's no quota. They don't do quota like that. It doesn't work like that with that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if there was a quota, wasn't there a quota. The fact of the matter is there was somebody there who worked in your department for a year, worked as a civilian for 1 year, wore that civilian badge proud, did everything he was asked to do, went to the dinners, went to this, went to that, did everything he needed to do, knew the systems, scored second highest on the test. And then they say no because we're hiring all Spanish class. That's not fair either.
And that's basically what being a minority is.
No, I get it. I understand that. But what I'm saying is like it.
Your chances of bouncing back are way higher. Like say if I was in your position and I heard that information, I would probably have to give up my dream as being a cop and go get a job at Burger King. And my next cycle, I couldn't try to be a cop again. And I'm not saying that to
No, I'm
diminish
not.
yours.
No, not
Yeah.
at all. I'm
But-
just bringing in a
Yeah,
point.
that's just the reality.
Like I just said, I didn't even look at it like you're looking at it. I didn't look at it the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Back then, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, you know what? This means my path is supposed to be a trainer.
Yeah.
And that's where I went. I said, I'm going to start training people. I'm going to start training people to fight, to this, to that, to that. Blah. I said, that was my path. But now that I look back on it, I say to myself, all right, well, it was kind of fucked up because what if that was my dream?
What if that was it?
What if that was really what I wanted to do?
Yeah.
And I didn't get and that is what fucked me, but it is what it is. Yeah. Anyway, we got Super Bowl weekend. Man, that was the deepest me and you ever talked.
Yeah. It's a lot, man.
That was long. Who do you like?
I'm going to tell you, man. I'm excited that Matthew Stafford is going to win his first Super Bowl.
So you're that confident?
I think up front, the Bengals are going to have to do a lot to keep that front four off of Burrow. I think there's an opportunity. The only way the Bengals win is if Burrow goes crazy. Jamar Chase and Burrow have to go crazy. I think the Rams are playing – I don't want to say they're playing lights-out defense, but this is the way that defense should have looked all year. I think hopefully McVay doesn't play conservative if they get a lead. He puts the ball in Stafford's hands. Stafford comes out on fire, no nerves. He hasn't been sailing anything over the middle. Aside from that Tart dropped interception, I think he's played pretty flawlessly.
Why you got to bring it up?
I'm sorry.
Like, why do you even have to do that?
That was a turning point, and that it could have been a turning point in that game.
I just started forgetting about it.
But, yeah, I just – the Bengals are going to have to be outside of their minds because that offensive line is tissue paper.
Terrible.
Yeah.
That's where like someone like Gio Bernard would be perfect.
And that's what I'm like. Perine, he's gonna probably get a lot of work. Joe Mixon's gonna have to do the damn thing. But I know Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp had 220 when they played him 2 years ago, and that was coming from Jared Goff. So they're gonna have to scheme up Cooper Kupp to the point where he doesn't kill him. But I still think he's gonna get his. OBJ playing one-on-one against Eli Apple is food.
Did you hear what he said, OBJ?
No.
He said that 3 years ago he was all ready to go to New England.
Ooh.
For Brady.
Yeah.
3 years ago, dude.
That'd have been nasty.
Right?
Yeah.
You didn't see that quote?
No.
He said it 3 years ago. Apparently, he wanted to go to New England and play with Brady. I think I agree with you, dude. I think that Burrow is good. But that offensive line isn't going to be able to hold up for him. I think that's just like a bridge. That's a suspension bridge that's going to be shaken all game, and then there's going to be just eventual times where it just collapses, and Donald and all these guys are just going to come in and fuck him up, dude. They're going to trap him from all angles. I think they're going to be stunting the whole game, and I think he's going to get beat up. I think he's going to get beat up bad. That's my opinion. I just hope it's a good game. I think if they give Burrow a little bit of time, I think he can make it a game. I just see that front four stunting on him all game, dude.
Yeah, Aaron Donald going crazy. I think Aaron Donald's going crazy. They're going to have to commit a couple guys to him, and then the addition of Von Miller really helps.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of pressure off of Donald to make every play, but
I could see him blowing him out.
I said 28-17 earlier, Rams.
That's not a blowout, though.
I think it's going to be like a late surge.
Late surge?
Yeah.
See, I think different. I think they're going to come out and they're going to fucking I think they're going to fire on them quick, dude.
Yeah.
Couple big plays. Defense is going to get the fucking crowd going with a couple sacks early. They're going to start beating them up, and then I think they're just – I don't know. We'll see how McVay plays it. He can either run up the score.
He's going to get conservative either
He's going to play conservative, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's my only fear.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, what do you think about – did you see the tuck rule?
I started watching it. I stopped.
I don't know what to think of. I'm going to tell you right now, that was a fumble.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fumble.
I agree.
So let's just call it what it is.
They got away with it.
That was a fumble.
The fix to his hand.
But I'll tell you this, dude. Fuck, dude. Like, I was thinking about it. I was like, his trajectory of his career could have completely went a different path. He could have been a second string quarterback the next year. If that was a fumble, he would have been second string.
Go back.
Then you don't know what happens from there.
Yeah.
You don't know how long he's a second stringer for. You don't know if he ever gets his opportunity. Like, you don't know.
Maybe Belichick. I mean,
but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing written in stone. Like,
yeah, I'll give you that.
Like, he could have been the second string. If that was a fumble, then the following year going in, he could have been the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, think about how
That's
fucking
crazy.
Lucky.
Who would we be talking about? Peyton Manning?
You think so?
Probably.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Kyler Murray?
The unfollowing?
Yeah. They're saying Tampa or Pittsburgh.
I don't think he goes Pittsburgh.
Too cold. That's style of play.
That's not his. They run the ball.
Yeah. Didn't they try that with like a kind of a gadgety quarterback one time? What was his name? Started with an L, I think. Who is it?
They had Vic for a minute.
No, it wasn't
Cordell
Vic.
Stewart.
Nah, Cordell was one guy. Yeah, but they had another guy. What the fuck was his name?
Neil O'Donnell, Mike Tomczak, Cordell, Tommy Maddox, and then Ben.
I think he started with an L. He played for like a brief.
In Pittsburgh?
Yeah. Yeah, I could be wrong.
I don't think, no.
But they're not that style. They're not that style.
Vic was in Pittsburgh, wasn't he?
No.
I remember that wrong?
No.
For a season, I think.
No, he wasn't. Was he?
I think he was a backup.
A backup, maybe. Let me see. Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Was he really? He was in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Did he play? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He was a Steeler in 2015. You're right.
Yeah, I know. I was remembering that.
Did he play?
Holy
shit, he was on the fuck. Oh, he was on the Jets too. That's right.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
I don't know why I remember that, but yeah, I remember him being.
I can't believe you remember that.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that.
5 games played, 40 for 66, 60%.
Do you remember how fucking explosive he was, dude?
Man, that was the Vikings run in the playoff.
Bro, he ran a 4.3 40, dude, as a quarterback.
He would have killed in this era. I think he's one of those guys that.
And he wasn't small, dude.
Yeah.
He was what, like 5'11", 6 foot? 6 foot tall? 6'1"?
I want to say 6'2".
Was he 6'2"? I don't know if he was that tall. He was definitely 6 foot, though.
6 foot.
He was a bro. What a freak! You remember that commercial with him with the
ride?
Dude, that was one of the best commercials ever, dude. That and the Michael Turner commercial.
I don't remember the Michael Turner.
The fantasy commercial when the guy's in the shower and he's in work and I guess he played Michael Turner in fantasy and his friend was calling him up and the secretary's like, you got to call online too. He's like, who is it? They're like, he said his name is Michael Turner, right? And he picks up the phone. He's like, it's the beginning of the year. And he just hangs up the phone. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of shit going on in football right now. I don't know. I don't even think Brady's going to retire.
I saw he tweeted yesterday.
I don't think he's going to retire, bro.
I think somebody's going to give him a call.
Somebody's going to give him a major fucking deal, and he's going to take it for 1 year. Somebody who's on the like, bro, if the Niners offered him, I bet he goes. The Niners offered him a big fucking time 1 year deal, he goes.
Somebody gets injured next year, he's definitely the first.
You know, I don't even think they got to get injured. I think if he sees a team, like, let's put it this way, someone like Tennessee, where he could play behind fucking, you know, a Derrick Henry playing behind him or something like that, where he knows he can lean on that run game. He's got some talented receivers, good offensive line. If they throw a 1 year deal at him, you don't think he would take it? Maybe he's not that type of guy. I don't know.
He already said never say never, so he's coming.
Yeah, he's coming back, dude. I think Gronk is done, though.
Yeah.
He's done. I think he's done. All right, so I think we're both on the same side. I don't know who Bush is. I think Bush. I never know what Bush. Bush might go on the Cincinnati train. Here. What else do we got? What else you want to talk about?
I got nothing, man. I'm excited. Listen, we got to get you in the Pikachu costume before Thursday.
Before Thursday?
Yeah.
We do it Thursday. We don't do a show. We don't do a show on Tuesday. I mean, we don't do a show on Wednesday.
Well, I just need it before the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll do it Thursday. Are you here early Thursday?
I will be, yeah.
Maybe I'll come early.
I'm going to do a special Super Bowl edition of the Quan Show. Going to get that back fired up. Going to have some skits, some sketches, some bets, everything.
What day you doing that?
So I'm going to probably record it and then post it Sunday.
When are you gonna record it?
I don't know. Sometime I got a couple of things already recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quan show. He's gonna be going over the entire fucking Super Bowl slate.
Every prop bet, every side. No, I'm just playing.
Are you really?
No.
When you're airing it? Sunday?
Yeah.
Sunday, the Quan show.
Super Bowl extravaganza bonanza.
Something else I wanted to talk about. I forget what it was though. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, go. We got a big card this weekend. I don't know, man. There's a couple fights on this card that I'm super torn about. You know, really torn about. The main event. You know, I'll touch on that briefly before we get out of here. And obviously the co-main I'll touch on briefly before we get out of here. So, you know, this is a rematch. Adesanya versus Whitaker. You know, this is a guy in Robert Whitaker where, you know, people kind of shit all over him after he got knocked out. They said he was washed up and, you know, he's over and done with, and you could just see he doesn't have it anymore. And I was like, really. Did you watch that fight, Adesanya and Whitaker, the first one?
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost embarrassing. You know, so then after that, everybody was all over the Darren Till train. They were all over the Jared Cannoneer train. Like, they gave up fucking hope in Robert Whitaker. It was mind blowing to me. On a guy who was so fucking talented that had one bad fucking night. Literally had one bad night, and everybody was all over Whitaker. He ends up coming back. He beats Darren Till, beats Jared Cannoneer, and beats Gastelum in a 5-round fight where he looked fucking phenomenal. And now he's fighting Israel Adesanya again, obviously in the rematch, which I'm assuming is going to go much different. Not that I'm saying he's going to win, but it's not going to be a waxing like that. I think he is. I don't think he ever went anywhere. I'm not even going to say he's back. You know, I think he had an off night. I think there could have been things going on in his life at the time that just didn't, you know, match up or equate to the time frame. The stars didn't align for him that night. And I think you're going to see a much different Robert Whitaker. I think the line is way overblown. You know, for a guy as talented as him, guy who's been in this, you know, the wars he's been in, the fighter competition level he's faced. I think it's crazy that he's over 2-1 odds in this fight. So that's a very interesting fight. I will have full breakdowns on that for you guys on Thursday. And then we got the banger fight too. Another one is Tuivasa versus, you know, Derek Lewis. And a lot of people are fearing this fight a little bit because they think that is there a possibility that this is going to be Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis, where they both respect each other's power. They both just sit back. They don't really do much. There's a possibility that happens, yes. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I think that this is going to be a fight where you could probably expect a knockout one way or the other. You know, I see a lot of people picking Tuivasa because of his hand speed and stuff like that. But, you know, on the flip side of the coin, let's play devil's advocate here for a minute. When you look at that fight and you look at, okay, does he have the hand speed? Yes. But at the end of the day, you got a guy who's got more fucking knockouts you know, then I've taken shits. And if you're going to play that game with him, I don't know if your hand speed really matters all that much. I know Tuivasa hits hard. I know he ties his punches together, but if you're going to play that game with a guy who knocks guys out that don't play that game with him, that refuse to play that game, that kind of skirts around the cage, they try to wrestle you and stuff, and you're getting caught on the way in, like, these guys aren't playing that game with him, and he's getting knocked out. But if you're going to actually play his game, it's really intriguing. I'm very intrigued by this fight. I think someone gets knocked out. I just, like I said, I got to do a little bit more homework, and you guys will find that out on what is it called on Thursday when me and Bush break down this whole card. What else is intriguing? Derek Brunson Cannoneer, another very intriguing fight, man. I mean, you got a guy in Brunson who's really striving right now. He's kind of really leaning on his wrestling now, understanding he's getting a little bit older. He doesn't want to get caught. He doesn't want to get into these firefights and get all muddy and dirty. He'd rather drag you and make you wrestle. And that's something that Jared Cannoneer, you know, if you're gonna wrestle and you're gonna tear that page out of that book, You don't have power from your back. I don't care how strong Cannoneer is. I don't care how hard he hits, what kind of shape he's in. If he cannot figure out a way to keep Brunson off him, that can be problems. Kyler Phillips, Rojo on the card, Bobby Green, Hapcraft. I'm super stoked about that fight. Bobby Green can hang with anybody, but it depends what Bobby Green shows up. Hapcraft, super sharp hands. Arlovsky, Vandera. Roxanne Modafferi versus Casey O'Neill. I'm looking forward to that fight. This is Roxanne Modafferi's retirement fight. And she claims that she's going to throw everything she's never tried in MMA at Casey O'Neill in this fight. Everything she's always wanted to try and never tried, she said she's going to do. She's going to do everything. Now, I don't know what that is. She's really not that athletic, but everything that this girl ever wanted to try, she said she's going to throw at Casey O'Neill. So, interesting in seeing that. Schnell versus Perez, good fight. Grisham versus Knight, good fight. Whole card stacked. I mean, the card is fucking stacked. Alexander Hernandez and Moicano. I actually can't believe that's on the early prelims. Pretty shocked about that. Carl Solberg versus Charant. Good fight. Just a great card, man. It's a great fucking card. Great DraftKings card. Going to be a great gambling card. So I will have all this stuff on the site, all this stuff on for you guys on Thursday when we break this down again. And that's it. So I will see you guys Thursday.